Another epic beginning, another epic crash. More of the same at the Garden. Hey everybody, this is Rangers Daily. I'm Todd Werwa, your host. Remember, you can subscribe down below, ring the bell to get updates, and follow me all season long. Rangers Islanders always special, and the title of topic one is, again, really? Because we saw it Tuesday night against the Boston Bruins, and with some veterans back, including Mika, JT, Laffy, Trocheck, I really thought they'd have a little bit more jump at the beginning of the game. Didn't seem to, and fell down 2-0 relatively early. The first goal, Morrow got out muscled in front. The second goal, Quick came out, got a little then out of sorts, and it got tucked in behind him. So they were down 2-0, but just 16 seconds later, Vinny Trocheck deflects a shot from Adam Fox, and the Rangers are on the board, down 2-1. Then they tied it at 2 as the second power play scored. That was Morrow with great patience at the blue line. He gave to Othman, who, that's easy for me to say, gave to Othman, who ripped a shot past big save Dave Riddick, tie the game at 2. 12 seconds later, New York goes up 3-2. Connor Sheary works the puck to Noah Laba, who passes out front, makes a great, really just almost like a no-look through the legs pass to Berard. 3 goals in 2 minutes and 31 seconds, and the Rangers have the lead. This is great, 3-2. This is how I expected them to play after the debacle on Tuesday. Like I said, I thought they would have come out with a little more jump, but they got punched, and they withstood it, and they came back really strong. JT Miller scored a power play goal from the bumper spot. New York led 4-2 after 2, outshooting the Islanders 24-15. Again, this was 2 really good periods, just like we saw Tuesday night. They just can't put 3 together, though. So the third period collapsed. Jonathan Quick came out. Dylan Garand came in. So let's just couch it with that. It wasn't your number 2 goalie. You know, it was your number 2 goalie on the night, but not your number 2 goalie for the regular season. Jonathan Quick, your starter, came out. You bring Garand off the bench cold to start the period. All right, there's no excuses because shots should have been stopped. But remember, this wasn't against Igor or against Johnny Quick. So 4-3, Berg gets a shot, and it kind of rolls up Garand's shoulder and in. Fox gets outworked on a play. Garand probably should have cleared or covered. The puck shouldn't have been loose. It got wrapped up in a bunch of feet, tied at 4. And then less than a minute later, Palmieri easily comes into the zone, throws a weak backhand that Garand lets in, like just under the glove. It was a shot that easily should have been stopped, but you could argue that Palmieri shouldn't have gotten into the zone as easily. Morrow was kind of riding him to the outside. I've seen some commentary that maybe he was fishing, maybe he was just watching. I think he had good position. There were 2 other Rangers there. He had good position to force Palmieri away from goal. He kept him from cutting inside and forced really a weak backhand that either of our top tandem of goaltenders would have stopped. And even Dylan Garand, he was an all-star in the AHL. He should have stopped it too. He had that look of absolute disgust afterwards. He knew he should have stopped it. It was just a bad night for him, and sometimes that happens. So Palmieri makes it 5-4. With 1:38 left in the third, the Islanders were out shooting the Rangers 10-3 in the third period. Rangers pulled the goalie. They got a couple of shots from the outside toward the end. Nothing really threatening. Their backup goalie made a save or 2, but nothing of, A+, high danger scoring opportunity, and another loss. And everybody commented after Tuesday's collapse that they can't let this become habit. Well, they were saying a lot of the same things after this one. Can't let it become habit, but they've got to do something. And as more veterans come back, and you could tell with JT Miller in the lineup, there was a little more oomph, and there was some more coaching on the bench, and there was a lot of talking. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how they respond. But These two games were sort of more the same of what happened last year. I think it's a building process as the veteran defensemen come in and really understand how to clear pucks and clear guys from out front and hold on to a lead. And some of the more experienced players understand getting the ball out, getting the puck out of the zone, and just clearing an opportunity instead of letting continual offensive zone time in what turns out to be a tight game, even at 4-3. It should have happened at 4-2, but it didn't. Let me move on to the next topic because I actually did like what I saw from the special teams. JT Miller, like I said, had a power play goal to put the Rangers up 4-2. And then power play 2 had the first goal. And it was a gorgeous shot by Othman. Morrow made a real nice play, showing patience at the blue line, skated around, then skated back to set up and create space for Othman, who could come in. But the best part of power play 2 was that Matt Rempe was on it. Guy 6'9", setting a screen in front of the goalie. He set a great screen for Othman on the shot, but even before that, he had a couple of rebound chances and plays in front. On the broadcast, they said that Rempe was working in that spot in practice the last day, working on tips, working on screens. So will we see this in the regular season? Who knows? But you have someone that big, and on power play 2, which, maybe he's going to get 30 seconds of the power play, you throw a Matt Rempe on there just to get in front of the goalie, you never know what could happen. And it's worth a try. Preseason exhibitions where you give it a try. But it was fun to watch, I have to say, just watching David Riddick try and maneuver his way around the big 6'9" forward. And Riddick is no slouch. It's not like he's a 5'8" goalie. He's a huge, I think, 6'4"-ish netminder. But that was fun to watch. The penalty kill looked good, too. Noah Laba was on it until he took a penalty later. But the penalty kill looked good as well. And we'll see how special teams develops as more of the veterans come back and a full power play. It looked like it was a pretty full power play on PP1, just to figure out where to put Panarin and who comes off. I don't know who it will be once Panarin's back, but we'll see. They'll develop, but like I said, the power play was 2 for their first 2, and having Matt Rempe on PP2 was a whole lot of fun to watch. As we've talked about all camp, there are going to be a lot of young players trying to make very few spots, but they're making this difficult. Perreault was on line 1. He played very well. Othman and Berard scored. Noah Laba had a gorgeous assist on the goal by Berard. So these young guys are making it tough on the coaches to make this decision. That's what you want. And you want to have a coach who's not afraid to play some of these young guys. But they've really seen a lot from Perreault. Othman needed a good game. Berard needed a good game. He also laid a real big hit on Adam Boquist. They're making it tough for who's going to start with the big club and then who's going to start in Hartford. And obviously they'll get minutes in Hartford. Some of them possibly finding minutes at the NHL level could be tough, but we'll see. There is a third line wing spot that is definitely open, especially if Cooley is moving up to the top 6. There's a third line spot that could use a wing and could use some offense. And so one of these guys, that spot is open, and they've each now shown some strengths, had some good moments. So it's definitely the thing to keep an eye on in camp, how that all plays out. But again, the whole point is they're making it tough on the coaches to make a decision. Each one has stood out in their own way, and it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be fun. Last topic, and I know, a Broadway hat gets handed out when the Rangers win, so this may feel a little weird, but each week on the Friday episode, going to hand out the Broadway hat for the Player of the Week. And this one, kind of out of the blue, first one, haven't seen a lot of veterans, all of that, but I'm going with Noah Laba. He had a gorgeous assist to Berard, has led the team in points, and afterward, he had another assist. Afterward, Vincent Trocheck, I want to read this quote for you because after the game, Trocheck made sure to shout him out. He said, "Labs has kind of come out of nowhere and really stood out, in my opinion. He's making it tough on these guys to make decisions on the roster for opening night." Could he be the opening night 3C? Juuso Parssinen would like to have something to say about that, but Laba he's everywhere the puck is. He's in every spot he should be. Even the penalty, he was reaching in, he caught one of the Islanders high in the face who was bent over, but he was still even reaching around trying to dig and fight for the puck. Laba's been exceptional. Just poised where he should be, patient with the puck, controlling breakouts, not dumping the puck immediately to the other team. He's quick, he's physical. I think they're seeing a lot from him that they didn't expect, considering the hype on the other three young guys we've talked about. But he's giving them a tough decision as to where 3C is going to land, and it's not guaranteed to anybody. So this kid coming out of Colorado College he's made his mark already. If he can continue it, he'll be in there for the first several games. Whether he'll be on the roster, whether he'll be in the lineup, we'll see. Parssinen still has a lot to say about this, but he's been the best Ranger I've seen so far and the biggest surprise, which is why I give him, and tip my cap to him, give him the Broadway hat. It's been an exceptional week. So I hope you're enjoying the show. It's Rangers Daily. I'm Todd Werwa. Remember, subscribe below, ring the bell, and follow Rangers Daily right here all season long.